Been there, done that.
Yeah. Started out just looking at how to cross a line and ended up making a video game and Bezier lines and
It is funny, but it's so easy to have something arbitrary. You're like, oh, what is this? And then 2 days later, you're like, oh. Um, but often it leads to, interesting stuff.
yeah. I don't know what I'll ever do with this stuff though. I mean, some of it, yeah, I found a use for, but like the Bezier lines, I don't know what the heck I'd ever use that for.
And I'm live.
Yep. Hello, everyone. I'm live too. I was dead earlier.
People. I got some more people coming in. Oh, Gina. Okay. Let's see. All right, cool. I went a little crazy with doing my YouTube videos. I probably got like 16 now recorded and uploaded. Feels kind of nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember at one point where I'm like, I'm just going to go through and document a lot of the stuff I have that I never shared in I had like 40 or so in the queue. It took a long time to run out of stuff.
I like your background there, Joe.
The dogs are, they're the entertainment. It's great because they wear them each other out. So. So welcome everyone. Does anyone got anything that they're working on? Anyone have any questions?
Sorry if I keep clearing my throat. I'm like draining real bad today, just because it's a warmer.
Warmer, really?
With me when it goes from cold to warm.
Yeah, it's very cold here.
What do I have going on? I don't know if you've ever messed with the red dial menu, which is written in AutoHotkeys. It's a real cool like context menu, I guess you could call it, / GUI maybe. But I saw they have a new version now and looks really nice. It's very clean compared to what it used to look like.
Can you share it?
Yeah, I haven't messed with it much, so
that's right.
We can take a look at it together. Actually, that's a great idea. If I can remember. Oh, screen share. There it goes. Screen one. Sounds fine. So I think it's like version 5. It was version 4. Maybe it's version like 4 point something now. I forget. But they got a new icon too. It's this little orange, green, blue one here.
I charted. Yeah.
I just got to remember how I used to use it. All right. Control right click, it looks like. Yep. Okay. Let me move this into the middle here. So it even got like this little menu here now that's always here. And you can minimize all these things. So I'm not sure exactly what a lot of these do. This one just looks like, probably copy or cut, shift, control, alt. Does that might just like automatically hold down the shift key. Okay, yeah. So pressing these basically puts it down permanently, kind of like a send shift down, which is good. I like that actually for coding. Because when you're doing like AutoHotkeys or pretty much any language, you're going to be using a lot of the symbols at the top on the numbers. So it's kind of nice to be able to not have to hold shift and stretch my hand out or use 2 hands. I can just be like, all right, I'm doing a variable and I can just hit 5 for those percent signs if I want. So that's kind of cool. I like that. I could see that being useful for, coding. Let's see, what was it? Control right click. So this looks very different. I kind of wish they had a tooltip when you hover over these because I don't know what they do. All right, that's just a fast way to open a browser. Yeah, I'm going to explore into this a little bit more. Just kind of what it does.
And you can change what they do, right? I mean, you can add to those
Yeah, you used to be able to.
Is this the radio menu from the forum?
Yeah, I think it's called
I've seen a
Radial.
few images. I've never tried it, but I think you can customize that.
Yeah, and it looks so different that I'm not sure where, because before it was very simple. There's like a thing that said customize. We just gotta try. Okay, I don't know what that just did. Yeah, some tooltips would be nice on this. Like when you hover over, this could say like browser or something.
Well, it's probably, it may have that functionality, but you know, whoever's laid out this menu didn't add them.
Maybe setting. I don't even see anything that looks like settings.
And maybe the one at the top left.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't do anything.
Okay.
Oh, now it did something. That looks like it's just a browser or Explorer.
Yep.
Go back. That probably just says undo, redo, or maybe in your browser. Back and forth. You forget to push control.
It's a kind of edit menu. Yeah, cut, paste, undo.
Yeah, this one looks very basic compared to the version 4 one that I use. The version 4 one was pretty complex. Just for anybody who's watching this and has no idea what this is, let me Google it. Menu. Yeah, here it is being shown as the newest version. So it looks like this is version, okay, yeah, it's still version, oh, it's version 1. I was saying 4. So 4.6. It's an interesting way to label with a 0 at the front there. So this is what the new one looks like. It's pretty clean and stuff, but the old one, hoping I can just find a picture real quick of it. Doesn't seem to be a lot of documentation on here, so that's probably a good thing that we're looking at this.
Well, so this isn't the one from the forum then?
I'm sure it's on the forum as well.
Yeah, that's where I remember always seeing it.
Yeah. I think you misspelled radio.
I think I've seen it recently at the very top of the.
There we go.
Yeah. This,
Oh God.
So you see how different it looks. So with this one, it was a lot more simple, I feel like, because you could put words instead of icons, but you could also put icons. I mean, you might be able to do this with this one. But in this one, I believe you could do like, you just clicked on the RM4 here in the middle, and it would bring up your settings where you could, you know, adjust how many circles were on there versus like the one at this one just has the one for now. You could do sub menus. So like if I had a sub menu here, I click, maybe a few more pie slices would open. So I could have like for browser, instead of just opening my browser, I could click this, get a sub menu where it has like, you know, YouTube, AutoHotkey form and stuff, and then kind of go there. So it's a lot like what Gene's thing is, but just more in like a versus a context. It's more of like a GUI style, I guess.
There must be some.
Go ahead, John.
There must be some research on the usability of this kind of menu compared to a standard menu. It would be interesting to know what are the advantages or ease of use of this. It's nice. It's visually it's nice. Now regarding usability, I'm curious to know.
Yeah, and you can, and there's like tons of themes, so you can go very simple with just like these little squares. This is, I think, the one I like the most right here. It looks kind of like Mac OS kind of style. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Someone put a lot of insane amount of time on here. So I'm guessing whoever this learning one guy is, this is from 2013.
Yeah, I wonder how it does with the DPI scaling issues, and also if there's a way. Well, actually, I guess that's kind of what they're playing on right now with the newer version is the dark screen approach, right? That allows you to have it as a dark screen, which it does look cleaner.
Oh yeah, no, it looks great, but kind of curious about the customization because I can't seem to figure out how that works. Let me go to their website. See if they got anything here. Let's go to features. A lot of features. It looks like there is a setting menu, and maybe how do I bring that up?
It's probably a hotkey, which it's one of the things I hated about the tool that I had for I had borrowed someone else's for displaying hotkeys, and they didn't have an easy way to remember how to bring up that menu. They didn't have a tooltip. You couldn't go over the system tray icon and bring it up. And it was like, this is crazy. Like, it's ironic that it's built to help people remember their hotkeys, yet they don't have an easy way to bring it up, right? Like, kind of missing the point.
So on the old one, I believe you could have up to 32, if I remember correctly. It was a high number of basically menu items. And even with those 32, you could have sub menus. So you could add a lot. But right here, what I'm looking at, the first line, it says each menu can have up to 8 buttons.
That's probably smart.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but because it
definitely scaled it back.
Yeah, but well, I mean, I think they just purposely didn't want to get it overcrowded and have too much going on, right? And with because to your point, they can have submenus.
Yep.
Right.
And they
then
still have that.
Yeah. And so they're just forcing you to compartmentalize it and break it up. Otherwise, it could be mayhem, and they're trying to restrict that.
Yeah, and okay. They still are allowing for buttons to have images, text, or both. I always liked it with both, just because, the icon looks, they look really nice, but then it's also nice to remember what it is just in case you forget.
Yeah,
well, it's nice to have the options.
I definitely prefer text over icons.
Yeah, no, I would definitely want that first. Let me relaunch it because there was a menu.
I would much rather have the icons over text. But
no,
to each his own, right? I'm not saying one's better than the other.
Oh yeah.
If it has a good tips, if it has a good way of doing tips, then yeah, icons can be good. But in other words, no.
Well, and in QAP, Jean has both, right? Which is, I think it's good to be able to have both.
For those interested, I found a good text about radial menu usability, taking advantage of the what they say, the muscle memory. So the gesture you do selecting items in this kind of menu is more easily remembered by your muscle memory. So something like that. Yeah, I'll post the link on the chat.
Yeah, okay. So to get this to pop up, you actually just right click on the icon for the program right here, and you get a drop down. So you got here also like your macro editor. Okay. And this actually looks a lot better than the last one did too. So they redid pretty much everything, it looks like. So yeah, this, you can make your macro, what do you want to do? Keyboard, mouse presses. It's kind of, a very simple version. So I'll have to see, what is it capable of? Because it looks like maybe just kind of some simple text and mouse click mimicking. Remapping. Yeah, okay. You can do all the changes that you could on the old one. It's just a lot cleaner looking. So this is nice. I like this.
Well, what's the code behind this? Is this a class library? Is it, or it's just an application by itself?
Yeah, I think it's just an application. It's written in AutoHotkeys. So I've never looked at the code.
Because I'm thinking for a quick access pop-up that could easily be rendered in this kind of menu instead of the standard Windows menu. Yeah, easily meaning a lot of hours of work. Of course, it's easy to think that it is doable. Now, doing it is something else. But having submenus, having a radial opening another a sub radial, if you wish. It's something that it is in the same logic than a regular menu.
All right, let's see if we can find the code here.
Oh, that's nice code.
Yeah, well, that's going to be more like the system. It's going to be
that's the executable. Yeah.
I was just laughing earlier though, is both Jean and Hellbent have spent a lot of time creating tools for launching programs, and it's just kind of funny. Such a simple concept is such a hot item. You know what I mean?
But if you have something like that, it changes your life. Like you can't live without it anymore.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And the comment I receive often from quick asset pop-up users is it should be integrated in Windows. Why don't Microsoft do it in Windows?
Right. And it seems like Microsoft is going the opposite direction, right? They even seem to limit every time they cut back, like on the start menu or option. I mean, it's just in the taskbar, and it's crazy to me. I did read, I haven't posted it yet, but it'll be my next newsletter tips. That Windows 11 has an alternate taskbar, I think, that you can test. It's not easy. You got to configure it to use it. But I haven't played with it. I am curious what it. I will bet you money right now, though, it has less functionality than what the current one does.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've seen a lot of people posting about that, asking, and people are like, well, you can always switch back somehow. I think just through system settings. Was it Hellbent that did a video with you about like using HTML and GUIs to create a GUI?
With Maestrief.
Oh, okay.
That was something recent. Maestrief is the one that does that stuff.
Well,
Okay.
and Hellbent, yours was the big one, in which you mentioned before we started streaming, was your not the bitmap creator, but the class where you can create the whole like themed buttons.
The button class.
Yeah, which is
Button
I think
tool?
that's a
Button tool.
pretty cool.
Because this, looking at the code very quick, it looks like there's a blend of AutoHotkeys, but then I did see some like basic kind of like HTML style stuff for creating.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at those menus, right? Those clearly
so
aren't.
it seems that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of code. That's pretty long. I mean, I'm surprised.
Whenever you start with graphics code is like,
Oh,
my God, so long.
So yeah, it looks like he's kind of doing that kind of idea. Yeah, I'll dive deeper into
Nice.
this.
I like the design. I like the design.
Yeah, there should be a way to. What is this? Default? No, there's nothing else there. The last one had a ton. Oh, here we go. Background. Okay, so you get a bunch of colors, which don't seem to be organized. They're just kind of all over the place. So you can change like orange.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for a Tab Nation look here. Title, ghost white, whatever.
We'll change the ghost white to black, and then it should look better at least.
So I imagine he's doing this on a layered window with probably GDIP.
I'm
The
not.
menu itself.
Yeah, I've never looked at the code or anything into it. I've just kind of used it, never dived too deep into it.
I guess those icons, because he's not drawing the icons apparently.
Get a little Resident Evil style also going on there. There we go. So you can even change kind of like the shape of it. So there's definitely a lot of cool customization. Oh, here's the mouse trigger where you can say, I don't want it to be control right. It does look like you're forced to use a modifier though. And it has to be a mouse click. Or I guess no, keyboard trigger.
Yeah.
So you can get rid of this, maybe.
And then what? Would you move it with the up and down arrow keys? Like how? I don't
It
understand.
just shows up where your
just
mouse
to display the radial. Yeah.
But what? Okay, so you display the radio button with your keyboard, but then how do you?
Yeah. You need
know,
the mouse to click one of the items.
or the arrow buttons,
Or
to
the
move
arrows
around.
will go around clock. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
But you know, that is a pet peeve of a lot of people. I think that you my hand's not on the mouse. I don't want to have to go do that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you can. I tried the arrow keys. Wonder if you can add like hotkeys to each item. It would be nice if it had a kind of remember your last position thing, because this pops up in the top left corner every time. I always want to move it. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's you. I was like, oh, someone had a chat. Enable toolbar. So you can even switch between, it looks like, different profiles. Okay, so I could have like a Chrome profile so that when I'm in Chrome, I can have that profile and it has all my pages up. Or if I'm doing a YouTube video, I can have a way of like having quick links kind of stuff. So you can have like, you know, work mode or personal mode or gaming mode if you want to change the, you know, what you have set up there.
Yeah, it's like the ribbon interacting with what you're working on and having it have a different, you know.
Or if you share your computer with your wife.
Yeah. yeah. You could have, your information, her information. I could see that being pretty cool.
Jean, have you, well, and anyone, I mean, I know you guys have all kind of built tools like this. Have you considered doing like that ribbon approach of saying, hey, when this program is active and I hit my thing, it shows something different? You have different menus.
I did something sort of similar a couple of months ago, maybe about a year ago. It was just this little bar that would come down from the top of the screen if you put your mouse up to it, and it would have like 5 different buttons on it, and you can program the buttons to either be like toggles or just buttons to launch something, and you can set it to say, okay, if I have a Chrome running, then that's the only time it would show up.
Yeah, I've done something with like context menus.
I can find it, but I want to go for a quick smoke, so I'll find it when I come back.
Yeah, I've done something with context menus where when you're in a browser, it detects what website you're on and displays, you know, a context menu based on that site using the same hotkey.
Well, that context sensitive approach, like I found when you first start, you don't even need it, right? Because you just don't have that many things. But after you've built up a lot of hotkeys and stuff, allowing the computer to help you realize what should apply, you know, you can use the same hotkey key combination is very helpful.
Yeah, and I've done a video on that where I talk about like, or it comes out soon, and it's called Too Many Hotkeys ? And it's just basically what you're talking about, where it's like, you know, eventually it gets to the point where if your script has even like 5 hotkeys, you know, it's like, what does F1 do versus F2 again? I forget. So I've done stuff like that where I show you like how to either do it through a GUI or a context menu. I'm going to open the door real quick for my cat because she won't stop.
John, have you been doing anything with your quick access, or sorry, clipboard tool?
Quick access clipboard, working title at this time. Yeah, some good progress on that. Last time I talked to you about that, I was not satisfied with the user interface. Everything, I had 2 components in the same window. A component that is a clipboard editor, so you can change the content of the clipboard and save it. And the other part being the rules that you can enable to be applied every time you copy something to the clipboard. The rules will do things like changing the case, doing find and replace and things like that. And everything was on the same window, but finally I realized that these were 2 different components, 2 different application, if you wish, working one with the other. But so I separated that into 2 GUIs, and it works better. Like I could show you what it looks like.
Oh, and real quick, just in case anybody wants to play with that menu, I just realized when you right click, there's a user guide built into the program.
Okay. Does it show how to customize?
Oh, I haven't actually looked at it.
Okay.
I just
So
noticed it was there.
I'll show you the application from my development environment. So there could be some debugging stuff popping out, but should work. So when you launch it, you have two windows. So I'll talk about this one first. That's the editor. So it shows what is currently in your clipboard. And you can, if you copy text, I'll make it always on top so that we can see the changes. So if I copy stuff here, it will be automatically reflected in this editor. For now, it is in read-only mode. The advantage of read-only mode is that it is synchronized. So everything you change something, you can see what is in your clipboard. And when you can see it, you can also see invisible characters. So it will add enters, or if you have tabs, do I have tabs somewhere? If you have tab, you would see little arrows. So it shows the content of your clipboard. But what you will want to do is to edit it. And for example, just a few minutes ago, when I found some stuff about this, the user menu, where the radial usability page here. So I first found this little sentence here. So I copied it. So it was in my clipboard. I will just take the whole thing. And then I wanted to paste it, but I also wanted to paste the URL of this page. So I could have do it in 2 times, going in an editor maybe to make it together. But what I just had to do is click the edit clipboard here. So now I'm working in a kind of text editor that will be easily saved to the clipboard when I'm finished. So I took the URL of this page and just type source. And then when I click save clipboard, it saved it to the clipboard. So it's ready to be pasted anywhere. So all this could be done with an external, with Notepad, for example, but it would require to open a new application to do more copy and paste actions to do that. And I often have to write text with pieces of information coming from various pages, doing some research and putting all this together. I'll also have often to make it fit into 255 characters. For example, when I often will collect information about music and put this information about pieces, about songs in the comment field of iTunes. That's the place, my repository, if you wish, for this information. And this note field is limited to 255 characters. So it's easy for me to play with my text here without being limited by the total length of the field. And I remove what I don't want. And I have here this, when I am in the editor, it will show the content of the editor. So it shows here the total length. So if I want to remove some text to fit under 255, I will do that, and I know that so now I'm okay. So I could save and paste it in iTunes or any other application or web page that would have a limit of text. So that's the editor. From here, you can use various various editing or things that you will see in the second part, which are the rules. So for example, if I want to find and replace, I will, find and replace. It bring that, it should not. Okay, it's here. So find better and replace with worst. Okay, so it changed this text here, and there's a lot of options here. You can change the case, which is quite simple. Find and replace that we've seen here. There's a target. Oh, because I'm always on top. Yeah, I'll just remove the always on top option here. It would be easier. I have to figure out something about that. So find and replace. You can match all word or do case sensitive find and replace. And prefix and suffix will add something at the beginning of the clipboard, or if you wish, at the beginning of every line of the clipboard. So if it contains a list, you can put something at the beginning of each line of your list, or end of line with suffix, and substring is the most complex one or powerful one. So it allows to keep only a section of your clipboard. So you could say that you want something from the start of the clipboard to a given number of characters, or to a given number of characters before the end. So I would write here 12, and it would go up to trimming the last 12 characters, or the beginning of text or end of text. So if I want to substring, that will stop at faster, so it will stop at the end of faster, and it didn't work. From the start to the end of faster. Let's try again, and if not, it's just something that will have to be fixed.
It doesn't say faster, does it?
Yeah, no, faster here. So, yeah.
No.
What do you mean?
I thought you mistyped faster, but it was kind of small for me, so I don't know.
So I'll try with the beginning. So it will faster. Yeah, so maybe the other option would have worked, and it was just a typo, but you get the idea. So you can trim or your text based on position, based on the actual content. And all these options here are also available as rules. And I will just complete my demonstration with this other tool here. So here you can create rules of various types. So to change case, convert the format, find and replace. You can even use AutoHotkey pieces of code, prefix, suffix, and substring, as we have seen, and have these rules being applied to the content of your clipboard. So let's here cancel so that we will see the actual content of the clipboard here. So if I have a rule here, existing rule that will lowercase. So to enable that, I will copy it here to the selected rules. And these rules are active. So each time I copy something to the clipboard, let's take some text here. And I will make the clipboard always on top again, so it will see. So each time I copy content here, it will be automatically lowercase because this rule is active. And all the rules, and you can have multiple rules. So it could lowercase, then strip the beginning, and then add a prefix. So you can have multiple rules here that could be active at the same time, and they will be executed one after the other on the content of the clipboard. So it's when you know that, for example, I have a list of songs in iTunes that when I receive them, because I receive a lot of music from music companies, and the files I receive are WAV files. They are not MP3 ready with all the tags. So I have to process that. And often the song of the title of a song will start with numbers, will have suffix like the kind of some technical information about the song, and the title is just somewhere in the middle of that. So, and I have 15 songs with the same rule. So what I did and what motivated me to create this tool is I was fed up of having to use the mouse and the keyboard to clean up all this to get just what I wanted from these strings. And now with this rule enabled, I can just copy the content in iTunes and paste it back again. So just doing copy and paste in the same location, because it is copied to the clipboard, the rules are applied, and when I paste, it keeps only what I want. Removing underscore with spaces, because often there are underscores in these titles. So a lot of things. So it is my use case, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other situations where you want something to be applied to the clipboard automatically, and that's what this tool is allowing. So there are two components working together, and it's now in alpha version 008, and I'm quite ready to release this to being tested by other users, by beta testers. A few of them already have expressed their interest in that on the QAP forum, so that's
Is that the best way to get a hold of you, just for anybody who wants to maybe give this a go also?
Yeah, you can email me as Jean Lalonde at quickaccesspopup.com. Also, I can reply to that. And yes, but on the forum, Let me show you.
Yeah, this is really cool. I can see a lot of people wanting to, even test it out.
Yeah, so the forum is about quick access pop-up, but I'm using the same forum because I don't want to have multiple forums. And there's a section about your quick access clipboard, and you could just get some information there and let me know if you would like to be part of the testing of that. There's a lot of testing to do, but yeah, it will be.
I have one question for you, Jean. I'm just curious how you're doing it. Can you bring back up the display of the text? Yeah, the one on the right. When you selected invisible characters,
yeah,
what kind of edit field there? How are you? You're not actually adding like the characters, right? The tab and line returns. It's just changing the display of them.
Yeah, in fact, I'm changing the content of the edit. I'll just copy this one here. So I'm changing the content of the edit control, adding actual characters that are characters.
Oh, you are.
So
okay.
yeah, so Unicode characters just to replace the actual. And if there's a more other invisible character, like for example, it's not frequent, but you could have ASCII code 8. I think that is the bell. So you would see the ASCII code saying BEL. I think so. It's not something that you would find normally in the text clipboard. So what you have more usually is the end of line and tabs. And because these are actual characters inserted in the control, that's why I'm displaying it only when you are in read only, because you wouldn't want to save it to the clipboard. So you could not edit. If you click the edit button, it will remove these invisible characters. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm curious, because I know with Windows, we use a line return new line field, right? But then Unix, it's just the new line field, if I remember right.
Yeah.
How did you?
Yeah, it's not. It's something that I'm sure we'll have to work on. For now, it's working well because I'm working with Windows content. But sometimes just pasting text from Gmail in Chrome end of line will be messed up. So it's something that will have to be investigated, and maybe adding another type of rules here to convert end of line, something like that, so that it will replace end of line by carriage return end of line, or depending on the type of the source of the text that was copied. But I'm sure it's an issue, not an issue. It's a topic to investigate, and there will be, I think, good tools to add about that. Yeah. About the editor, you can use fixed font. You can change the font size. You can say if you want to use tab inside the editor. If you don't select that, tab will just take you from one control to the other.
Some people may not know what a fixed width font is. Can you just explain that real quickly?
Yeah. So it makes every character being the same width. So if you have a list, the spaces will take the same space as the number. The M character will take the same space as the other. If you don't, you see the W here takes maybe 10 pixels and the I takes only 3 pixels. But with fixed font, it's for coding, I prefer to being fixed font. It's more convenient to work with fixed font. But if you're working on text, you may prefer to have something. It's better to have maybe non-fixed fonts. It's a matter of preference, and these preferences are saved in an ini file. And if you wish, you could also open the settings file and restart the application after you edit some of the options here. This will have to be, at some point, I will create an option dialog box with all the options there, but for now, you can change these options automatically, not automatically, but manually in this ini file. For example, there's a rules timeout here, which is at 60 seconds. If you enable a rule here, after 60 seconds, I have to enable a rule. After 60 seconds that you did not use it, it will be removed automatically, because often you do what you have to do and then you forget that there's a rule, and I've experienced that. And 5 minutes later, you do something else and everything is lowercase. Oh, why? So just because you forgot that this rule was enabled. So I put a timeout. There could be some options. We discussed that, Joe, to make some rules being permanent, because you always want them to be enabled. It's not available for now, but it's safer to have the rules to be disabled automatically, because you can forget easily about that.
I wonder how hard it would be, because a tooltip would kind of be annoying, but I wonder if you could like change the color of your mouse cursor, you know, the arrow, right? Do something to just help people remember that, hey, this is going on, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, of course, there are tooltips for the buttons. I'm using a single character, a visual graphic character buttons, and I have tooltips here. But you mean to change the mouse pointer, like it can be a circle, for example, when you have something working and you have to wait.
Well,
good idea.
It's just something, because I think a tooltip would be annoying, but if you just changed it to a black icon or what, I don't know, you know, the size, something, it might be a nice, subtle, easy way to remind people that, like, hey, you know, something special's, we're in QAC mode.
Yeah, interesting. I took a note. I have my roadmap here, so I'll add it to the roadmap at some point.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a pretty nice roadmap.
Incidentally, when you were mentioning some of the stuff, Sean, the stuff with your the music and length of the characters. When I was working at TI, it was one of the things that it was so simple, yet because in email marketing, your subject line really mattered, right? And that length of the subject line, people would have it too long. And so I built the simplest little script to say, highlight the thing, and it will show you in a tooltip, you know, as you're typing, like how many characters are there. And my teammates just absolutely loved it, right? It was so simple, but something like that to just easily give you a character count of how many are in this thing can really help you at the same time.
But what I hate is when these text box are limited, so you cannot write more than the space available. So but at some point you want to write more and then decide after that what you will remove. So that's something that can be done in the clipboard editor here. You have no limit, but you know how much you are. And what you say could also be something that could be displayed bigger or something, just or to change the color when you exceed a given limit, for example, something like that. But changing the color inside an edit control is, I don't think it's possible. But changing the cursor, same idea that you had before, making the cursor being kind of exclamation mark or something like that to say that you exceed.
You can change, if that's an AutoHotkey GUI, you can change the color, but it comes with some things like it's difficult to do multiple colors.
Okay.
Right.
But you can
do one color just the same way you would change the GUI's color. It's actually in that line.
For the whole control. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My idea, ideally, if it was possible, is to make red everything that would exceed a given number of character. But yes,
there might be some Windows thing that does that. Other than that, you have to just go custom.
Well, or which is what I think Tom mentioned at the very beginning, at some point, was you could be using an HTML GUI like an ActiveX thing, and that would make it pretty simple to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that would be easy. I had a question real quick. For the invisible characters.
Yeah.
Something I drives me nuts is when I copy and paste somebody's code that I need to edit. Instead of using tabs, they'll use like 4 or 5 spaces. And I'm like, is there a way to use your thing to automatically say, hey, anytime 4 spaces or whatever is there, just replace it with a tab instead?
Yeah.
Because then I have to sit there and like manually do that a lot of times in, an editor. And it drives me nuts that people use spaces instead of tabs for whatever reason.
So here I have spaces here, so I could, did I implement it or did I just think that I would have to? But I think So 4 space here, and I think that this will be tab. So tick T will be tab. Not sure if it is implemented. I rework on that. So let's try it. You could do it. Yeah, it will be a find and replace. So it will be global. So these 2 lines here should be replaced with tab. And yeah, so it's doing the slash, the tick T instead of the actual tab. So it's something I have to look at. But yes, it's something that will be doable easily. I just have to process in my replace field here the tick character to be replaced by an actual tab.
Okay. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I see up there you have it explained, use backtick sequences.
Yeah,
So-
it just doesn't work now, but yeah, it's it is in the specs and in the documentation, but it's not in that, it's not actually working. Yeah, something to add to the bugs.
You mean just because you write it in the description, it doesn't just magically do it? I don't understand.
No, I tried that,
Well,
and
okay.
I wonder
If-
why
I
it
think-
doesn't.
that's an
I'm
auto
not,
hotkey
I'm not
version.
positive, but you might be able to actually replace it with it using the tabs if you put it first in something else. I'm not sure if it would work, but it might work. Where, let's say, if you create a fake edit control, so you create a fake window that you're never going to show, you create the edit control, paste that into the edit control, and then get the contents of the edit control, which should maybe have it formatted, and then you paste that into your this edit.
Okay, I'll try that.
There's
And also there must be a way to escape these characters if someone actually wants to type tick T.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes you don't want it to be translated to a tab character. So maybe then in this case, a tick would be the escape character to say I want the real tick. Probably will be done. Yeah.
Hey, Jean, just because you're sharing your screen, and this is a really simple request. Rick Sable was asking about having a hotkey to exit like out of your script. Can you just show like using the exit app, if you had a hotkey with the exit app?
To exit?
Yeah, I think he wants a hotkey where like, hey, I want to kill this script. So
And
let's
just in case he doesn't know, you can right click on your
system tray icon.
Yeah, your tray icon where your script's running.
If
right-click.
you
Yeah,
have
and
a
if you
system
have
tray
this, you say, let's say, which character do we want? Control Z, for example, and then exit app.
Yeah,
Can you
I mean,
zoom
that's
in
what
a
I
little
would
bit?
do, right? It's
And you don't need a return after an exit app.
Yeah.
what you would normally do. So yes, depending, I don't know how familiar with the hotkeys you are, but here it is, the caret character is for control and Z, and you could say it's more to be more a specific character. Alt Control Z would then exit your application.
Can you zoom in on the font? It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, way better. Thanks. Just because I know some people watch this on like their mobile or something.
Yeah, sure.
so he's adding to it. He's saying he doesn't have the source code. So
okay, then you want to do it on another application.
Yeah, and you could go ahead, Sean.
I'm just not. I would have to do some research. Maybe someone already know how to identify a window and kill a process. That's something that can be done.
The script hub tool I have, right, would automatically allows you to list all running AutoHotkey scripts and then exit, reload, edit, whatever you want.
Yeah,
that would be my go-to.
Is the program you're trying to close a AutoHotkey script? Or are you just trying to use AutoHotkey to kill, just any process?
Win kill here.
There's a few ways you could go. Yeah.
Yeah. Win kill, and you give the title of the window that you wish to close.
Yeah, but it gets a little complicated because what if there's more than one instance of what it is, and
sure.
But that is a good start.
Yeah. Maybe someone else would want to.
You just gotta find the code or whatever for.
Thank you for your feedback about the quick access
the
clipboard.
ID.
Let me share Whoa, hey, there we go. So, and let's see, control M. So this is the script hub tool, and you can right click, and so it lists all of my running AutoHotkey scripts, and I can come in here and say,
Do you share?
what's that?
Joe?
Is
We
it
don't
not
see
shared?
it.
No.
That's weird. I'll try it again. Share.
I had the same thing happen where I had to do it twice for some reason.
Shared now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hold
So
on.
this little wheel, so I can right click on it and it lists all of the running scripts I have. And on any one of them, all the options are always the same. I can, open the folder, reload it, edit, pause, suspend, or exit. So yeah, you can just come in here and say exit. That's a handy way to, often I use this because I'll have, as you can see, I have a lot of icons here, but they're not in my system tray, right? Because I don't like jamming up my system tray. So I hide a lot of the icons. But this tool allows me, no matter what's going on, I can go to that script and, open the script folder or edit it. Sometimes the edit doesn't work. And even though we've spent a lot of time on it, but I just often open the script folder and which that didn't seem to work either. Oh, that one opened. And then I can go in and edit or, do whatever I want there. But yeah, you can, that's a simple one it goes across all running AutoHotkey scripts. Tell me how use middle click on mouse.
Like a
Hold on.
send?
So I'm sorry, I meant close quick access pop-up. That you can just right click on the system tray icon.
Or select file exit.
And if you're just doing a send, you just do send in button in little curly brackets. And if you
so
want to hold it, you just add the word down and then up to bring it up. Depends on really what you're doing.
and Animan was talking about he uses the task kill by using a command in the background with AK because WinKill has a small delay and it doesn't work with one application I use. Interesting. And then Rizwan was asking about using the middle click on the mouse. And I was showing just send the middle button. Do you need a better example, Rizwan, of what are you trying to do with the middle mouse button? I know we're jumping all over the place. I'm trying to look at the stream and see who's asking questions. But
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with looking at your chat because I'm looking at your chat and my chat too at the same time. I always forget how to exit full screen. There we go. There was this code I was writing the other day, and I was surprised how complex it kind of came out to be. It was like 35 lines of code, but it's just a way to suspend an application. So, for example, there's a lot of video games out there that you can't actually pause, even though they might be like single player. And so I wanted a way to like basically force that pause. And I was surprised, like, you had to do a bunch of DLL calls using your PID so you can get the specific Windows information. And just like, it was really weird. The easiest part was writing the input box and the toggle. The rest was like crazy. But yeah, that's kind of where, like, depending on what you're doing, it could be simple as like a 1-line piece of code, or it could be like my code that ended up being 35 lines of code.
by the way, I just realized, so I'm still sharing my screen. This is my still adding to my email algorithm. So here I'll bring them all together, right? But right now this is looking at like the top level domain, if it's less than 2 characters or more than 4, it's probably, I'm going to give it a weight of 20, meaning that's bad, right? And then I look at the domain. If it's less than 5 characters and more than 25, then there's probably something weird going on. And the user account, if it's less than 3 or more than 12, now this is, I give it a much lesser score, right? But it's just giving you an idea of, I'm adding all these go into my algorithm, and somewhere over here. There we go. So I'm slowly bringing them back into here. This is if it's the syntax matches an actual valid email address. If it doesn't, I give a score of 50, right? And then I have these terms where it's looping over, and then if it begins, but I've noticed where just if it begins and it sounds silly, right, with an A, D, or an S because it's just people are on their keyboards, right? I nudge it, right? So this just helps you understand. Each of these things are contributing to this overall score. And then at the end of it, I'm going to have a score. And if it's basically, let's say over 100, whatever I decide that value is, if it's over maybe 120, I just don't even deal with it at all. If it's between 30 to 50, I'll manually review it. And then if it's below 30, I just add it to the list, the newsletter. But it's one of the things I've been working on.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Oh, and I don't know. John, regarding your tool,
I like your list of bad terms.
Yeah, you would be amazed at what people list.
Why is the-Automator.com there?
People put in my domain,
Is their address.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not adding myself to the the newsletter. So
maybe one of your 1,000 employees would do that.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's a good point. But here, no, not that one. Here we go. So by the way, and it's not released yet, but I think it'll be next week. Jackie and I worked through this regular expression, and this is where let me exit out of that thing. So notice like on this one, and see some of these have the target equals blank and some don't, right? And Jean, this is where I had mentioned, I think last week or the week before, that like, hey, sometimes in my A tags, I have the target equals blank there. I always want it there. But when I'm writing my newsletter, it's kind of a pain because I have to go through and look for them. And with your tool, we were like, hey, you could just on every A tag, add the target equals blank, and it should be okay, even if there's already one there. But I had Jackie help me because I tried working on it, and we were doing like a look ahead and look behind regular expression. Mm-hmm. And what it does is it goes line by line. And let me launch it now and show. So notice down here, every one of these has the target equals blank in there, right?
And only once.
And only once, right? So this regular expression in here does what we needed, but holy cow, we spent an hour, and it was these look aheads. Yeah. It really is. It was tricky.
What is the look advance part of the regex?
I think it's right. This is the saying, if this is not there, then or this is there, then don't, it doesn't only do this if this is not there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just to clarify, so it's not looking for double quote blank, but because you have to escape, which you were mentioning earlier too, in the reg expression, you have to escape the double quote. So it's looking for a single double quote blank.
Yeah, and the double quote are not required in HTML tags. So it could be just written target equal blank. It would work in HTML.
Right. Which is a good point. If I was releasing this to the world and trying to build something robust, I would have to do a lot more stuff. Mm-hmm. But as I was telling Jackie, I'm the one, because I use QAP, right? So let's say if I was doing something, I'm trying to think, let's say I wanted to insert, so the newsletter, HTML, and let's say I wanted to link to the intermediate course, right? So in here, somewhere in here, hopefully I already have, here's the target equals blank.
Yeah.
Because I understand your point, Jean, is legitimately I could do this. Ooh, right?
Or just no quotes at all.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
href could be href equal HTTP, and it would work.
Hold on a second. I'm very curious on that. Testing.
Yeah, HTML is very
So
permissive, I would say.
Yeah, I'll say it's not picky.
so you're saying I can remove this double quote?
Yeah, it would work. I would not recommend it. I think it's safer to have the quotes there.
Okay. Huh. I didn't know that. That I've never seen that not used. That's amazing. That still works. This was something I wrote at TI years ago. Because back to the point of what we were talking about, how you have certain things you can do with your iPhone stuff. I'm sorry, your music. And obviously, I'm a big iPhone user. At TI, when I was working, hey, Albert, at TI, when I was working in the business, I was responsible for updating web pages, and they didn't have a way to preview stuff. And so it really drove me nuts, because it was, like, this website gets millions of, and granted, not every page, right? But I'd be working on my business page, and I couldn't just test what I was doing. So I wrote this tool where I can throw in some HTML, hit run, and it'll display, and I can look at it and go, oh, hey, I didn't totally screw something up. But yeah, it's nice to be able to test things.
Yeah. Joe, I'll have to leave.
Okay, John.
So
thank you,
everybody. See you next week.
Nice seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in any language too that's not required. Like even in AutoHotkeys, there's stuff where it's like you don't have to use quotations, but it's more of like a standard, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen somebody not use it, or at least very rare.
Well, I thought, and back, let me go back to share screen again real quickly, because I thought I had tested it where I can understand maybe these don't need to be there, but I thought the quotes had to be here on the blank. But boy, I'm gonna have to test that one as well. Let's see, I should be able to just copy this. I think I closed that other.
That's a cool script though with your testing thing. I personally like it. Like, what's it doing here? Because I saw it say Internet Explorer. Is that what it's trying to use? Internet Explorer.
It launches an ActiveX GUI. So when I hit run, this is an ActiveX GUI.
Why don't you just run like the file into like Chrome or something?
Because well, I didn't want to have to save the file, so this is done in memory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But and I wrote this like 10 years ago. So I was just playing around at the time. I think actually, and I don't know if I adapted this one, but in my no, wrong one.
Because I had code that I got an input box and I could put the file name, and it just always assumed it was on my desktop for my HTML. And then I just had a hotkey when I push it, and all it did was run it into Chrome. So it was like really nice to be able to do that.
Why did that not work? There it goes. So this is code that this HTML. So I'm storing the HTML here, and then this actively displays it without saving it as a file. So this I think is everything that we need here.
That's a great way to test out really fast.
Yeah. Now the other one,
it would be cool to add though, like add on to this if you're ever interested, because I'm sure I would use this. Have like the test version where it just runs like in your GUI, but then maybe another hotkey, or you can right click on that little window you have with your picture and say like display in Chrome or Internet Explorer, and then it would actually like auto save it or something and then run it.
Yeah, if I was an actual developer working on stuff
that's there.
Yeah, I would have it display it in Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, maybe IE, and have that automated, and then have it automatic. And actually, this is one where when I was at TI, the people I worked with, they actually developed web pages and stuff. I didn't do that. I had to tweak stuff, but this is what that's all they did. And I wrote a couple scripts to just automatically refresh the browsers for them because, you'd have to save it and then go and reload your browser. But if I just had it every 5 seconds, just reload the browser for them, it helped them just be like, oh, I don't have to go reload it, right? It automatically refreshes it. But yeah.
That's cool. I would definitely use that. My website's getting completely redone and updated, actually. Going for a more modern look and getting it more fancy. Because I got my first sponsor. Got a meeting this week.
So I mentioned I mentioned a like that context menu thing. I did find that if you want to see that.
Let's check it out. Sure.
Sure. Like I said, it's not really a context menu per se, but it is. Let me see. All right.
Sorry, what is this for?
It's just a little menu. So if I
Oh yeah,
if I move my mouse up here and use my wheel, it shows me this here. And right now I have it configured to be all toggleable, so I can set this to be so the toggle is it has if I can toggle things on and off, and it gives me a visual cue that it's something toggleable. But basically this is just a button, so the toggle thing, it doesn't actually do anything in code. It's more of just a visual thing. So let's say if I have a script that I want to toggle on and off, right? So if I want to keep it running, but I just want to make it, maybe I do want to run it over and over again, or maybe I just wanted to have something where it's toggled on, toggled off. I can do that.
Yeah, a lifetime ago, my friend Dr. Cook, we programmed together, and we kind of had a similar thing where we built a GUI that was always we didn't have it where it wasn't toggling like yours, when you mouse over the top there. It was just always up, and we could use it to turn on and off things that we just wanted to be able to control.
Well, that sounds like something similar like this, but this one has its own thing. This is my screen clipper. Anyways, yeah.
Did you create JDip library?
Pardon?
Did you create the JDip library?
No, I did not. No, I'm just a user of it. I'm just a user.
Yeah, it's insane what it can do.
So I can make this so that way I can just right now I just have it set up so that way I can just use my mouse wheel to activate it. So if I move up here, nothing happens. If I mouse wheel, it'll show it, and then I can just press the button. If I want, I can have this to be now if I do that, that should run the calculator. But yeah, so it was sort of meant to be like the way of controlling a bunch of different scripts.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the basic idea. You can just change whatever.
This is really cool. I've done something exactly like this, but yours looks a lot prettier than mine.
I've worked on this thing a few times. Like I want to update this, but it's very difficult for me to go back over territory I've already covered because I like to always expand, do something new. But I've done a few versions of this where I can like move it. If I grab a hold of this, I can like drag it up to here and it'll go up to there or to the other side. And being able to like, if this tab, I've kind of gotten used to the tab always being there, that little red rectangle, but other ways is like having it disappear if you move your mouse away. I also have another version where you can just, if this is in the way, you can grab it and drag it up and down the full length of it. And then just basically just program buttons. So if I want this.
Do you have a place where this is
shared?
Like GitHub or something?
This program here is available on my channel, but this is like the first, I designed this when I was thinking about how to create the bitmap maker. And the idea was to have like panels that could sit inside outside the screen, right? And just whenever I needed them, they could just pop in. So this was like a proof of concept of that. And the way I developed this prototype is you see one window, but there's another window sitting on top. So I hadn't worked out quite at the time how to have progress bars stacked on top of each other and text controls, and how to be able to trigger it, like how to be able to detect that and mouse click. So what you don't see on top of this is another screen that's sitting on top of it that has controls in those exact positions. So what happens is if you have a different DPI scale or something like that, sometimes they won't line up properly because it's two different layers. In fact, there's like, the way I did this was, I would never do it again like this. But I mean, this is everything you see is progress bars and text controls. It's all progress bars. So everything. So I mean, that was pretty neat. But yeah, I've been trying to get around to recreating it, but I've come up with like that menu bar up here and other ones that like you can pop down and just add buttons to. But I haven't come up.
That one there, would you mind copying that and throwing it into the chat?
Which one?
The one that we see on the screen.
This one here?
You want to use like Pastebin or something real quick instead?
This one up here? Okay, yeah. So that is.
Oh, is it on the forum? Good.
Yeah, it's here. Let's see, let me see where chat is.
Can you throw it in the Zoom chat and that way I can copy it over too?
Yeah, I'm putting it into the Zoom chat.
Sweet. I actually put it into my chat too.
It should be up. Okay, so it should be in the Zoom chat.
Something up. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to, with this, you have to program all the buttons yourself, but it's the example code. I just copied this, it shows you pretty well, like there's 5 buttons. This is the text that's going to be on them. This is the label that they're going to execute, and whether they're toggle buttons. The toggle. So if let's say if I wanted this to be a toggle button, the one that I had, the toggle doesn't actually do anything. I have to program the logic. So it keeps track of its own internal toggle. But if I want to use that toggle state, then I have to do that myself. So I'd be like, so I'd have to toggle myself, code the logic of a toggle myself, and then I could be like, let's see. What would it be? I'm so used to writing expressions that I don't know when I don't need to. All right, so now that should toggle instead of just opening it over and over again. I think, I don't know. Let's see. So that's open, and that didn't work. I don't know. I don't use WinClose, so that's probably something to do with that. I don't know. Does that look, do you use this command often? Does that look right?
I don't use it often. From memory, I'd say that it looks right.
Yeah, it looks right to me too, but.
You're just trying to close it?
Yeah.
I think you just get rid of that AHK.
EXE.
Just replace that whole thing.
It might just be calc. It might just
calculator. I think it's the full name calculator. I'm not sure. And I think it's as simple as that.
All right. Nope.
Hmm.
Maybe I got too many open here. Let me see.
Right.
So that runs it. Well, at least it's not running it
Why don't
again.
you just show a tooltip to make sure you're there,
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
or a message box or whatever you want, but just let's first make sure we're actually getting into where we think we are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Message
It's
box.
always the best.
Because yeah, it's I wonder if calculators capitalize and you don't have case sensitive off.
No, it wouldn't be case sensitive. That wouldn't be the cause. Even if when set title match mode. Okay, that's getting old. I got to get rid of that.
Yeah, it is. I still just don't understand why that's not the default. That should be the default and everything. You turn it off. That's ridiculous.
It's like I'm obviously double clicking. It's very unlikely I made a mistake at that.
Okay, so it's in not tog. Okay. Oh, you know what it is? I think I know. Hold on. Let me see. It might just be that it's firing too fast.
I used to have that problem. Oh, wait.
Oh, never mind. It would help if I actually changed it to be different text.
Huh. It's the little
Live
thing.
is always
All right,
fun.
so it's in tog, and now it's in not tog, so it's not closing.
All right. Yeah.
So let's see.
Is this guy in your chat asking about chrome.hk or just making a mention that he likes using it? He says geek, I am user. Is one of us secretly geek dude?
No. No.
Because I think that's what he meant as geek dude. Because he created Chrome HK, I think.
Oh, there we go. So I must have just had a typo. I'm pretty sure it could be the uppercase, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Lower, yeah. No, I agree. I don't think those are.
I added at the beginning just saying like case sensitive off. I do that in a lot of scripts anyway, just because I hate when I
You know what? It might actually be.
It's relaunching it. It looks like it's trying to close it, but I think it just.
It's not even. Oh, okay. Because I don't have the tooltip there anymore. I was like, why isn't it? It's not even going to the tooltip anymore. Yeah. So it looks like might be case sensitive. Might be case sensitive. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, that's something.
And if anybody's curious watching this, you can always add up in your little settings there in the first few lines of code is case sensitive, comma off. I do that on a lot of my
Case
scripts
sensitive.
just so I don't run into issues like that. Because like as you saw,
Is it what, pound?
I've gotten used to capitalization though, because I'm programming in Python and like it's so case sensitive and everything.
Isn't
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
wouldn't that be when wait,
The title match mode.
that title match mode?
That's just if you want to shorten the name. So like if I open Chrome, it'll say like Chrome/YouTube. Well, maybe I just want it to match to Chrome. So that's what that should do. But case sensitive off is what should turn it off for your whole script.
I've never used that command before. Never. I didn't even know it existed. That there
I
was.
don't think it does. Tom, are you sure? Like that? I think it's a sub command of something else. Is my guess.
Which one?
The case sensitive, whatever you're describing. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I use it a lot. So I think it's just, let me look it up just to make sure I'm right. I think it's case sensitive, comma off. Yeah, case sensitive. And that turns the case sensitive off for your whole script or wherever you put it. And it helps with little problems like that. When you do win close, it has to be capitalized. But if you turn that off, a lot of stuff will not be like, I use it for variables. So if I have a variable where it stores data, because if you say if this variable equals Thomas, but with a capital T, but then the variable has a lowercase t, it won't trigger that if statement. So you can add that to get rid of the case sensitive problem in variables is where I've used it at. Yeah. Oh, it's string case sense. So it is for variables then. I thought it was for everything.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So it's not a thing. Yeah.
No, I put a link.
So it's just for the variables. But I use it. Okay. I use it a lot for variables though, just to not run into case sensitive problems.
So you said, Joe, you said you put a link for something?
Yeah, for case sensitive, which I
For case sensitive win title?
no, just look at the link.
Where's the
Which
link?
actually no, I don't.
Where's the link?
It's in the Zoom chat.
I only see
Oh.
the thing from me.
Hold
You
on.
haven't got
Oh, it didn't get sent. Sorry.
it.
Oh, because it's sorry. It was going to Jean.
Oh, okay. Now I see something.
He's going to be confused.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But anyway, I just searched case sensitive, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen this.
I thought it was for everything, but it looks like it's just for kind of playing around with variables, but it's very helpful.
Okay. Okay.
It makes your variable kind of like if statements a lot more flexible.
Well, anyways, win title is. So you said that case sensitive, that would work with, how would I get that to work with this?
I'm not sure. I wonder if there's a way to add a parameter at the end of when close.
I thought that maybe set title match mode to 2 might do it, but.
Well, or to a regex, and then you can make it case insensitive.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, anyways, there's a issue. If you want to use a program's name, you got to use the, that's weird though, because I can do, I guess it's a different thing. It's a different thing.
It would be nice if you could have a parameter on there. Like a C at the end that just means like.
Regardless of current title match mode, win title, win text, exclude title, and exclude text are case sensitive.
Okay.
The only exception is the case insensitive option of the regex mode.
Okay. And I've never used that, so I wouldn't know the first thing about setting that up.
Oh, it's simple. You just
Yeah.
have to get
I just don't know anything about
I
regex.
is case insensitive. I in the left parent. Oh, it's actually in the example. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. That it's so odd though. I agree, Hellbent. Why in the hell is that case sensitive when everything else in AutoHotkey, you really gotta try to be case sensitive.
Well, I suppose like you're not usually going to be in here typing it out like this. You're going to use a variable, right? And that variable is probably getting it from something, and like it'll have the proper name already. So I don't think you're normally going to encounter where you're going to have that issue with the calculator, but that was kind of weird. I wouldn't have expected that.
No, me either.
I wonder if that's on accident when they made it, that command. They didn't think about that.
Here's what I was talking about earlier, what I was playing around with. I was on that whole trip with the lines and everything. So I wanted to see if I could figure out how to do Bezier's, because I want to do a new version of my bitmap maker, and it would be nice to be able to have this kind of feature. So this is just, all it is it creates a bunch of points.
My belly.
I use the points to create. So here in this thing here, I'm just having it draw circles to create the line. So you can actually see where it uses this equation to create these different points. And then I can just draw a line between all the different points. One of the cool things the only thing that I could think of that I would ever use this for is to do something like this.
Fancy.
So if I wanted to like have my mouse move in a certain path.
I'm gonna have to head out soon.
All right.
unless we got a few more comments. That doesn't look like it.
Oh, wrong one.
That's really interesting. How about?
Yeah. Like I said, this is the only thing I could think of that I would use this, but I want to do it, add it to my bitmap maker so that way I can make drawing a little bit easier. But yeah. Anyways, that's that. This is the latest thing I'm working on. Right here. I'm writing out a class for this control here. I was trying to design a different button design, but I was kind of struggling.
And those buttons you're drawing, right? They're not an actual image.
No, they're drawing. Yeah, it's you can actually, if I pulled one up, you'd actually be able to see what it's got in it.
It's a nice
So
editor.
this is I think the one that I'm going to use here. But what I'm trying to get, I don't know, maybe I doubt anyone will ever watch and see to post something, but I'm trying to get a design that kind of has this kind of feel to it, where the center part is a little bit raised up. But this isn't quite what it is. I don't know. But I'll have this idea for a control that kind of has this part that bulges out here, part that bulges out here, and the top and the bottom bulge out as well. But I think the control layout's a little bit too small to do it. So I think this is the best that I'm going to get right here. So if I go into this, I think this is the one I just activated. Yeah, so this is it here. And if I go in, I can see how everything is constructed. So I have a layer on top. If I change, this will probably be this part here or this part here. So it was that. This would be this white part. Oh, here. This would be the white part. This would be the background, etc.
And then you have a button somewhere that'll basically get you the syntax for drawing that, right?
Yeah. So let me show you that. So let's say I finished. This is the design I wanna do. I can save this, and then I can go and load it. I can save it as a bitmap, or I can save it as a PNG.
And that would save each of those buttons individually. How does that work?
So this is a design. This design here, it would save this whole design. So this is a bitmap. So let's say if I want to make a new project, I would come here to this new project. I would create a bitmap, which is just basically this rectangle right here.
Yeah.
I can activate that.
And you make like hot zones or something. Is that?
And then I can start adding shapes to it.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Right. And if I want, I can make this a gradient, set the position. And then I can go in, like if I want to add a picture to it. I can take, let's say if I want to add this guy here, I can then go do that. If that's not big enough, I can just resize my bit.
Once you're done, I have something I wanted to show real quick before I hop off.
But yeah, so if anyone has any ideas for a design that kind of has these elements to it, but looks like that.
How should they get in touch with you? Just through your forums or whatever? Or no, that was...
This is the idea, just to be able to control something. Anyways, that's it.
How should they contact you if they have ideas?
The forum, Hellbent
Okay.
at the forum.
Cool. So this is something I was working on for when I played video games, just because. So this is single player, and you really can't do anything with pausing. So here, see this fire? Push escape. So I have my pause menu, but you can still see that the fire is going.
Mhm.
So I did a video on this that should be coming out soon, but I found a way to, if I can get out of this, jeez. Come on there. Where I can actually type in the name of the game. So val, and then the extension .exe. And now that's saved as just a variable. I can push F1 and see how like it actually really paused the game. And I found this so interesting that you can do something like this with AutoHotkeys, where you can pause. And of course, because I'm trying to stream and everything and run a game, it's gonna freeze up on me. But it was really cool because I could see that being used for a lot of programs.
How are you quote unquote freezing it? You're activating the window and
Yeah.
what?
So I had the input box with a toggle, just to go to process. So basically, just using like DLL calls to do this, using the PID or name.
Yeah, but what is it doing?
It's like truly suspending like the process.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I didn't know you could even do something like that. And for me, I see a lot of people using it for video games. That's the video I did about it, which I think comes out like a week or two, is more geared towards video games. But I could see it being used in programs where like you need to truly pause it, where they might not have that option built in, which, I mean, there's programs out there that you never like, it's like, why can't I pause this? So no, I just want to throw that out there. I thought that was the coolest new thing I've learned in a while with AutoHotkeys, is how amazing DLL calls can be.
Oh,
So
they're
do you know where the limitations of that? So will it suspend basically any process?
It seems like it. I mean, there's certain processes you probably should not try to suspend.
Yeah.
Because they could like really like freeze your computer up. But as far as programs go, I've done it on Chrome games. Like on Chrome, I was playing, the dinosaur game, little jumpy dinosaur. I tried it there. Like, say I'm like got a high score and I need to like go to the bathroom. I can use that F1 feature with chrome.exe, and it'll actually truly pause the game for me, so I don't lose my process and can go and come back. Yeah, I mean, definitely always be careful. If you're trying to suspend like a system, program that's required, it could, shut your desktop down or something.
Yeah, I would just add to your, what you've done there to say, get a list of all running programs, right? And then that way you can just choose from the list.
Yeah.
Instead of having to type out the name of the program. But anyway, yeah, it's cool.
There's a script on the forum in this it's called like Kill Bill or something like that. I think you can find it by that name, where it lists all your running process and you can kill it through it. So it probably has, if you're not like, if you're looking for the steps to go about doing, let's say suspend the process, there's probably a lot of that in that code. If you're looking for it,
replace it. Yeah.
I
don't have to redo everything.
This one, I forget who wrote it, but let me bring it over. This is the task manager written in AutoHotkey that looks at all running things, and you come in and end it, restart it, and stuff. But the one thing I really like about it is, notice I can see, like especially for the AutoHotkey stuff, right? It doesn't just say AutoHotkey. I can see which script it actually is and kill a specific script.
Oh, cool. Is this the one you were working on a few months ago, and you were saying you can kill, like I asked you if you could kill hotkeys through it?
No, that was the one I showed earlier.
Oh, okay.
The script hub thing. This one is just, I forget who created this. But yeah, I use it. I have a hotkey to launch it instead of my task manager. And it's nice because I can be very specific of what I'm looking at. The only thing what is it? I forget. There's one thing I don't like about it. I'm blanking on what that is. I think that when you close it, I think actually that's what I changed. Before, when you would right click up there, it would minimize it to the system tray, which to me, I'm like, no, I want that gone. So I think I just tweaked that. Let me see. What? That's weird. I right clicked on it. Oh, wait, that it's not that script.
You know what I do miss about some of the earlier versions of Windows is like you can go into the task manager and everything that it showed you, at least
And-
as I recall, like it's been so long, but like you could close every single process and it doesn't affect the computer.
Sorry, say that again. What?
The old task manager on one of the older versions of Windows, perhaps 98 or something like that.
Yeah.
When you go in the task manager, you could close everything without worrying about crashing your computer. Like it only showed you stuff. It only showed you stuff
Yeah,
that you
safe.
could close.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, they don't trust their users to make a mistake. It's like how they have hidden files. It's like so you don't accidentally go in and delete them. Because the big joke on Reddit and like video games a lot of times is people will be like, you know, my computer's so slow when I try to play like these new video games. Is there any way I can boost the speed? And the big joke is, oh yeah, delete system 32 folder and it'll speed up your computer a lot.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, I wonder how many people have actually tried doing that. And it's like, oh God, you're gonna just completely like
Oh,
destroy your
wasn't there?
computer.
I remember one of the funniest things like that I found the funniest was the downloadable RAM.
Oh yeah. Even on Android, there's like apps.
Just download some more RAM. Just download more RAM.
That
Yeah.
would really help, wouldn't it? I'm going to
Yeah.
put the link in the chat for this task manager if anyone's interested. But I got to get going here pretty soon.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's been fun.
That's funny. The hell, I mean, but you know, you guys probably do remember this was a real thing. You could compress, you know, get more memory usage out of your memory, right? Like by kind of compressing, storing, you know, compressing the stuff.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
just
it did.
accidentally posted it in the wrong place.
Awesome. Well, thanks
I
everyone.
posted it in your chat.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, hold on.
All right, you guys, take it easy.